Hello, dear friends. Welcome. Welcome to another study of the Spiritist magazine. Here we are every Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am Shane Martin. I'm broadcasting from the Spirit Society of Richmond in Richmond, Virginia. And today we're going to be talking about issue 59 of the magazine. Before we go there, it's been a while. I want to remind everyone that it's very easy for you and I to have these teachings, to have the Spiritist magazine, either by ordering the magazine from the partner Mag Cloud or by downloading the magazine, just as I do here. So when we are together, I use the PDF version of the magazine, which I will show you, and then we discuss line by line usually. If the article is very long, we cut it short, but it's really a snippet because we want to go back and read and reread the magazine. But if you choose to order the magazine, you have an excellent product, very high quality, and the partner MagCloud will charge you just the amount that it costs to produce the physical copy, because things cost money, including things to run the Spiritist magazine or also your Spiritist center. But the magazine needs to be printed in paper and delivered to your house. So that is the cost of the magazine. But there are other options if you were to go to the website spiritismmagazine.org, which is the website at the bottom here listed, but it's also the way it looks. I just opened a tab on my computer. You have access to every single article issue, and this is the issue we're going to study today. Is issue 59. We've done several articles from this issue, and today's a shorter one but a very important one about mind openness. But you can browse, you can click here for the Facebook page of the magazine. You can download the app. If you download the app to your devices, you can have the app on your smartphone, and the app will also allow you to download the e-version free of charge, and you can have it anywhere. Are you waiting for the coffee? You read the magazine. Are you have a moment instead of scrolling on social media? We read an article from the Spiritist magazine. Like I said, things cost something, so we always encourage for those who can, so they can donate to sustain the publication of the magazine, even though it's online. There are charges and costs associated with having a website, having a presence, producing, and also having an app running well. The app runs really well. We are 100% volunteer, so all of the content is produced free of charge. But like I said, we need to get it to you, and that in the world we are, it costs something. Here you can go to PDF download. You can read about the magazine, the Spiritist magazine history. There is a contact form. You can also write to spiritistmagazine@gmail.com. This email goes straight to the editor-in-chief, Valeria Sansaloni, who can help you. Do you have a talent? Would you like to volunteer? Can you write? Talk to her. Very likely we can find something for you to contribute to. And here's the newest releases, issue 60. That has a lot of beautiful messages. Well, we talked about the newest issue another time. Today we were inspired to produce this, so you saw me do this. I chose TSM, the Spiritist Magazine 59, and it gets highlighted. So when you click on it, you can go to link. You'll notice a new page opened, and then now you can easily browse all of the messages of the Spiritist magazine. And you will look family row. There's a few articles from Americo Canhoto in the different issues of the magazines, all about family, parents, and children, for those who have a family uncomposed on this earth. And today we're going to talk about this one, which is mind openness. From here on my computer, I'm using Chrome. Whatever browser you're using, it's going to look a little different. But you can click here on this arrow for download. And if you were to download, this is, you would see the PDF version, which is what I'm going to show to you and use next. And that's it, dear friends. You can easily go to this website. There's beautiful work here just for you and I to be something we can use, something that we can work on to nourish ourselves and prepare ourselves to have a better afterlife. Of course, we want to get better here on the earth so that when we discarnate, we're better off than when we came before we discarnate. We're going to return to the true home better than when we left. Mind openness begs the question, are you open-minded? In a world with tail of the pandemic, right? We're at the tail end. There's still COVID around to a certain extent. We still need to be careful. It did, unfortunately, take the lives of over 1 million people in the US, meaning there are 1 million families out there mourning a loss of loved ones and many, many millions more in the world, on top of all the things that normally takes the lives, right? You are reincarnated. You have a physical body. The physical body decays, and then when it's unable to sustain life, that's when you discarnate, and that's when death occurs. We'll return to the spiritual realm, home, and then we can prepare ourselves to return until we become superior spirits, and the story is different. But for you and I, living in a world of trials and expiations, going from this moment of transition, this is the cycle. And right now, unfortunately, in the past few years, we have experienced a lot of attrition, a lot of discontent, a lot of polarization. And that's why we were inspired by the good mentors to talk about mind openness. So, how open minded are you? I can tell you that you're a little bit, at least a little bit open minded, hopefully a lot open minded, because you're here listening to this. So you're open to the new teachings we're going to receive today. You're also open to the fact that there is an afterlife, that we spirits, currently souls, survive the death of the physical body, even though the mainstream doesn't seem to agree with that for now, for the earth for now. But there are missionaries and visionaries everywhere breaking that materialistic view. So I can tell you, by being here, you are at least in the beginnings of opening your minds, because the laws of society, as we transition from the pandemic, being isolated for our safety and the safety of others, then we return to activities. We also return to the Spiritist Center. Very key that the Spiritist Center is a very different atmosphere than our homes and our neighborhoods, even though our homes and neighborhoods are as blessed as well. But the mental forms around us are very different. Here we have the presence of the superior spirits, the magnetic protections, and as we come together, we have to learn to live together. That's what the law of society dictates that you and I do. And the Spiritist Center is no different. There are differences. There are different personalities. We do things differently, so we have to be open-minded to listen to others. Well, what does Carlos Pastorino say? Because it's not about what I think, right? We are here usually as hosts of Kardec, even though we are blessed and supported. It is about the superior spirits and what they have to teach us. Because if we already knew, we would be the ones dictating the messages, not reading them. At least that's my humble opinion. The blessings of the US is that we can be all differing opinions, but it's true. We are here to learn with one another, and a lot of us is just megaphones. We're just transmitting the message. He says, Don't expect anyone to think like you. Do we? Do we expect everyone to think and do things the way we do? Let's say sometimes, or maybe never, sometimes, or always. Where are we in the Likert scale, my reduced Likert scale? Never ex- expect anyone to think like me. Sometimes or always expecting people to think like me. Sorry. Each person, you and I, is in a different degree of evolution, in a different step of the great ascent. So I'm going to do this so you don't cheat. I don't cheat, and we go. Just leave this, just the phrases we need to do. Each person is a different degree of evolution, a different step of the great ascent. So here is just another lesson of the law of progress, right? At the end of this month, today is the 20th, so about a month, a week and a half from now, we'll celebrate the anniversary of the discarnation of Allan Kardec, and in his codification in the Spirit's book, part 3, he tells us that there is a law of progress. He compiled the teachings of the Spirits, and the Spirits told us there's an ascent. So our slope, hopefully, increases slowing. It would be nice if it was exponential, big slope, big leaps, but we go and we grow. So today we are better than we were 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, 5,000 years ago. Not only physically on the earth we have changed, but morally and spiritually as well. Truth to be told, I'm here talking about Spiritism as a Spiritist, as someone who sees Jesus as a guide and a model in the US. I have freedom to do so. The First Amendment gives me freedom to say those things, and nobody's going to come after me, even though we know parts of the world have political persecution, but it's gradual. As we evolve as individuals, society evolves, and then we become more open-minded. Each person is different. The people you don't like yet, because one day we're going to like everyone, believe it or not. The ones we don't like yet, or who pushes our buttons, the ones who hurt us, they're in the different steps of evolution than we are. There are 8 billion incarnates on the earth as we speak, beginning of 2023. Each and every one of them is different, and there's also the companions of the spiritual realm, the mentors, the familiar friends, the obsessor spirits, and the spirits who are all around us everywhere, including those who guide the spiritual evolution on the earth in the name of Jesus. So here we have a lot of us, very different opinions, different stages of evolution. He says, nobody has the total truth because the absolute and total truth is from God. Only God knows everything. Only God has all the power. Only God has the truth. So when we are interacting with others in society, we understand I'm one, you are another one, and then by exchanging ideas and experiences, we complement each other. And that's what makes the beauty. Now, God, as so wise and good, has given us an opportunity to observe this every day. Look around you, take a step further, go out in nature, see people, see the animals and the nature and the plants all surrounding. Nature is diverse. Diversity is there. That includes us as humans also. We're also diverse. So everyone has something to contribute to one another. There's a very similar message in the book Happy Life by Joanna D'Angelo as well, where she says similar that nobody has the truth, cannot learn from someone else, right? So here we have nobody has a total truth. So we open our minds to see each and every interaction as a possibility, that I can learn something from someone. I can have their perspective. I learn compassion, empathy. I practice kindness. I practice patience. I learn patience in this interaction with others. No finite being can contain the infinite. Only God knows what the infinite is. Think about just the little things, the sliver of physical life that we know, physical laws, the galaxies, the universe, the things that occur around us. Just a sliver of what we know in medicine, chemistry, engineering, architecture. And we can see that we only know a little bit. We don't know about the multiple dimensions of life, the spiritual realm, the moral consequences of reincarnation. Only some of us know, but not as a body in the general public. So we only know a sliver of what's there that is visible to you and I with the equipment that we can build as human beings. And once we learn more, not only from Hubble, but from the James Webb Telescope, for example, now we have to adjust those parameters. 96% of the universe is dark matter, so that we only know a sliver of the 4% that we think is out there. It might be even much, much more infinite than we think and larger than we think, and we're just smaller. That's not for you to feel sad, but we have to put in perspective that nobody contains everything. Nobody knows all the truth, including us as humans in general, as a human body of knowledge that we have today. So we interact, we go out, we try to learn from one another, we serve, we volunteer, we get out of our own comfort zones and doing things just for us, for our families, for our houses, for our neighborhoods, our things, and then we see ourselves as part of the whole, complementing one another. Still unique, still blessed, still needed on this earth, otherwise, God would not allow you to be here. If you are here, it's because you have a role to play in the progress of in the great ascent. Remember, it talks about the great ascent here. We are all in a different step in the great ascent. Your journey is yours, but your journey is done not in isolation, but with one another. Seek the truth for yourself, but don't force anyone to think like you as much as you don't like others to control your thinking. It comes down to our master and guide. He never forced, even though he was in direct communion with God. In a sense, he knew much more about the total truth than you and I. He never imposed. He always served. He always taught. He was humble. He was simple. Jesus would not be out there seeking necessarily the physical comforts that we chase as a society that prevents us from seeing the need around us. He was serving, he was serving, he was homeless, he was a foreigner, he traveled, he didn't have anything but the cloak and his shoes, the clothes who he wore and his shoes. So that's a lesson for us. And he is in direct communion with God, steering the ship at the helm of the development of planet Earth. Even though everything looks chaotic, seems chaotic, and we are at this times of regeneration where we ask to attune. Am I going to tune with the progress, or am I going to choose to be stagnant? Right? We learned that there's no going back, but there's stagnation. If we choose stagnation, we may not be invited because we are flatlined. Um, Not that flatline in terms of death, but flatline in um, not moving forward. We are allowed to do that for a little bit, and then the earth is going. We need to go with it. We have to go with the progress of the earth. That includes seeing everyone as a brother and a sister. So if you have a lot and people around you don't have, we also lack. The suffering that occurs, for example, down here, down everywhere you are, at the homeless shelter, at the motels where people live, the lack of opportunity. Doesn't matter if I'm rich and I live in the richest zip code in my city, because maybe my family, my children have, but those kids don't. And then their lack of possibilities and potentialities to develop will impair everyone. They won't have the same opportunities. They may incur in crime, they may come to your community and take, and now we are also not helping them. We're hindering the progress of everyone. We are meant to live in society. That means we need to share. Share abundantly with your um, immediate ones in your family, but also with the ones around you in your community, with the ones that don't have, they're not necessarily from blood. Have less to be able to give more. There's also a way to be open minded, because the world tells me, it tells you as well, have more, one more blouse, one more care product, one more self care, whatever, one less wrinkle, and you'll be happier. No, we'll be happier if we can have less. First, we consume less resources, therefore, the earth can regenerate the way it needs. The earth is not infinite, the earth is finite. So, we have to think about the resources we are using and how much we can catch up with replenishing it, creating new ways of being. But also, if I have less, I have more to give. The less you have, more open minded to others and observing what's around you and the needs around you can be. Dear friends, this message was from the book. Let me make it a little time bigger. Minutes of Wisdom by Carlos Torres Pastorino, chapter 211. And this book is not English yet, in English isn't entirely yet, but there are a few chapters in each and every issue of the Spiritist magazine. Isn't that a beautiful message for today? So I hope that between now and the next week, you have time to visit spiritistmagazine.org. The link should be in the description for this video. Write to us, spiritistmagazine@gmail.com. And between now and then, take care of yourself, take care of others, and I will see you, God willing, next week with another Spiritist Magazine program. Thank you so much. Bye bye.